Rufus, old pal, it's been a real bitch around here without you. I even have to go out in the morning and shag my own paper. Just the other day, that snot-nosed delivery kid must have sailed it up in a tree or something. Because when I went out to get it, it was nowhere in sight. Anyway, I decided to pull one of your tricks and go over and steal the neighbor's paper. But just as I was picking it up off the ground, the asshole comes out his front door. I tried to tell him it was my paper. It just happened to be in his yard. But he wasn't going for it. Well, it all worked out real friendly anyway. I dotted his fucking I, and he apologized to me for having doubted my word. There's assholes everywhere. Here's something interesting. This guy in Chicago goes screaming into the cop shop about 3 girls who pulled down his pants and tried to rape him. Can you imagine that? He was complaining. I wish shit like that happened to me. Here's one about one of your bros, Ruth. This dog goes running up the street in New York and bites this cop right in the leg. Then flops over dead. The cop said, I couldn't believe it. The dog never barked or nothing. Just bit me and died. That'll teach him for eating bad meat, huh, Ruth? Oh, shit. I'll probably get blamed for this one. This jerk goes into a 7-Eleven store, buys an Easyrider magazine, then he robs the store. But he forgets his wallet on the counter, and inside's his driver's license, home address, the whole enchilada. So by the time he gets home, the cops are waiting for him. I wonder if they let him take his Easyriders to jail with him, the dipshit. Hey, what's all that noise out there? Is that you fucking prospects working on the video magazine? I told you I didn't want to get involved. Now leave me alone. Fuck you.
Ain't you supposed to be squatting or something?
This is a party. No, all he wants is some head. we got a swap meet going on over here, and right down there you see this black motorcycle. It's called a swap meet special. Ain't no 2 parts ever been together before. And I built that motherfucker out of my patience and my pride and my good time. And here's a song about it. It's a swap meet special, and I built it on my own. I said I rode it over from Texas right through downtown San Antonio. It's the sweetest little Harley you will ever see. It's a swap meet special. Hey, I built it just for me. I see you out there. It's got a big old white line and an all chrome front wheel. And when I twist the throttle, you can hear that back tire squeal. It's a big V-twin engine. That's an American design. It's my swap meet special. Hey, I built her and she's all mine. That's my swap meet special. I built it on my own. Hey, I rode it over from Texas right through downtown San Antonio. It's the sweetest little Harley you will ever see. It's my swap meet special. Hey, I built it just for me. Now, I won't ride a Honda or a Kawasaki. Now them Japanese motorcycles is a little too plastic for me. So give me a Harley-Davidson that was made in the USA. It's a swap meet special. Hey, I rode one here today. That's my swap meet special. I built it on my own. I said I rode it over from Texas right through downtown San Antonio. Where's Sherry? That's the sweetest little Harley you will ever see. It's my swap meet special. Hey, I built it just for me. It's my swap meet special. It's the only bike for me. That's a love affair, you know. Yay. Harley fucking Davidson!
This is a one-kick Harley. That's what I'm a-talking about. That's what I'm a-talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I've had that one Panhead for about 12 years. Bought a 1939 Indian and traded it to a partner of mine for the Panhead. I've never even taken the motor apart in that thing. I've taken the motor out of the frame a bunch of times and painted the frame, stuck it back together. They made a movie out here, and the movie was called Roar. They ended up with all these animals, and you know, we really liked the animals, and what were we gonna do? We couldn't get rid of the animals or give them to a zoo or just take them away. So we kept all the animals here. We do fundraisers out here and do a lot of filming, and so that keeps the ranch going and keeps all of us going. I've been working out here for about 14 years. I got hired here as a welder. And there was this old circus elephant trainer working out here, and he decided to take off and make a lot of dough at the studios. He became a sound man. And so the ranch came up to me and asked me, hey man, you want to train elephants? I said, sure, I'll try it. And it worked out pretty good, except, you know, like an elephant, you got to leave it in the barn for about 6 months and introduce yourself to it and let it introduce itself to you till you get comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, like, they'll eat you. Well, they won't really eat you, you know, but they'll stomp on you. Okay, here's Jake the snake. The house that Jake lives in. Oh, Jake. You wanna come out? Come on, bud. Jake's a stubborn snake from time to time. Jake's a boa constrictor. He just did a sizzling bacon commercial. So I built him a condominium. You get, what was it, $100 a day if anything under 8 feet, and $250 a day anything over 8 feet. And so when I did the commercial, I stretched him out, and he was 8 foot 9 inches. So he made $250 a day. Hey, dog. You wanna eat? You wanna eat? Oh. Well, this is Rommel right here, and the reason for the gun is the dog eats people. In fact, the people I got him from sent him to an underground dog training school in Tijuana, and the damn dog came back in a crate. And the guy had got his house robbed a couple times, so the dog was trained just to chew people up, and he's eaten 3 people already. So the reason for the gun is when I take him for a walk, even I won't walk him without a gun. If he bites me, he dies. But he's, you know, with the story, I got him because they were gonna put him to sleep anyway, so he can live here as long as he minds his manners. Rommel. And so probably like something like this. You wanna eat, boy? You wanna eat? Huh? Hmm? If you'd like to let him out, I would let him out, but if I let him out, he'd eat you people. And then that'd ruin everybody's day. Will you? Stick around for a minute. Cocksucker. That's why I had the gun. That's little Guadalajara right down there. That's where all the Mexican guys live. You should see it, like when we have parties at night and stuff, and you know, a bunch of my friends will ride up, and all these guys, they'll hang on the fucking fence and they'll watch us party, and it's like their Saturday night at the movies. You know, let's watch Chris party. Now, this is Elephant Shit Mountain. They eat 500 pounds of food apiece a day, and they shit every half hour. This is probably 3 months of shit. We got 87 cats here. All the animals work on a chain and respect a cane. But some of the lions, man, you can put a chain on them, but you gotta just let the chain rest on their back and don't be pulling on that chain, because if you do, that cat will turn around and he'll eat you. These are my elephants. Elephants are the biggest thing that walks on the earth.
They're pigs too, boy. They'll eat and drink everything. And they don't stop. They both drink beer. Or they can drink more beer than I can give them. Here, trunk. Get your trunk up. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. See, they got big, huge teeth, too. Open your mouth. Get your trunk out of his mouth. Come on, open your mouth. Open it. Open it. Open it.
The only meat elephants have ever been found to eat is like when they kill somebody in the circus. They'll eat their leg or they'll eat their hand, and they found people parts in elephant shit. But that's the only meat elephants have ever been known to eat. Taking vacations, man, no, they don't go over too good around here. Because one year I was going to go up to Tahoe with a bunch of friends. We were going to ride up there, and so this guy used to work here. He was pretty good. You know, we went on a lot of elephant walks and stuff, and the elephants liked him, and he liked them. And so I told him, I'm going to go up to Tahoe. All you got to do is take the elephants out of the barn and just walk them over to these 2 trees. It was real close to the barn. Just chain them up to the trees, leave them out there for a couple hours, load the barn up with a bunch of food and a bunch of goodies, and then cut the elephants loose and just walk them back into the barn, easy as pie. So he didn't do it on Saturday, he tried it on Sunday, and as soon as Timbo walked out of the damn barn, he spun around, mounted the propane tank, he fucked the propane tank, and it split open, and the propane went over and hit the pilot on the hot water heater, and boom, that was it. It was like a bomb, burnt the whole fucking barn down. And so then when I got back, man, the boss said, hey, that's it, you can never take another vacation again.
She's hard to get started, she's always so cold. In the mornings I find her, she's looking so old. So many miles, we've been down that road once or twice. She's not much to look at when we ride through town, but I know when the chips fall, she won't let me down. She knows when to run, and she don't run around on her man. She's a high-flying lady, she takes me where I want to be. There's no other woman standing between her and me. I'll always be faithful and keep her till the end of time. God knows I'll always love that old Panhead of mine. I've seen fancy dressers, and they've caught my eye. I've rode 'em to ride 'em and told 'em goodbye. I've flirted with low-riders, sportsters, and shovelheads too. I've cussed her and beat her and kicked her to just get her started a couple of times. You might think I'm crazy, but I love that Panhead of mine. She's a high-flying lady, she takes me where I want to be. God knows I'll always love that old Panhead of mine. God knows I'll always love.
See? I told you wouldn't wear no bra. You owe me a beer.
Well, we just started bullshitting each other about making a trip, actually. And I was just getting my side hack fixed up. Lance had just, yeah, just got that new version, that's right.
Yeah.
So one thing led the other, and we hauled ass.
Our kids is the one that hassle us. They say, you two old men won't get out of the county. But we just thought it was a challenge to go up there, and they had that artistry in iron. And we didn't go to enter, but we did enter. And we said, put us in any category you want. So they did. We won $400.
Oh, everybody likes sidecars.
Yeah.
Old women, young women, everybody. We go into a bar, some strange little town, and somebody might come in and say, oh, those motorcycles out there, what year are they? 1926, and zap, the bar's empty. Everybody runs out and take a look. Just us and the bartender left. Sometimes not even the bartender.
We stopped at one little place there, and it was cold coming up the coast, and I said, John, let's stop and get a cup of coffee and a shot of brandy. Okay, so we stopped there, and about, I don't know where they come from, but about 5 sickles drove up, and we were standing there talking, and some girl run in there, and she said, well, those are the ones in the Easyriders? And we said, we're guilty. She said, well, stay here. So she went and got her Easy Riding magazine, and we autographed it for her. And she asked us why we stopped. We said, we want a shot of brandy and
Bar's
coffee.
closed.
And she said, the bar's closed. She said, I'll run the bar. I'll open it. But anyway, we got her shot of brandy and coffee, and we tried to pay her for it, and she said, no, that's on the house. If you know how to ride these old outfits, you can get a lot of miles out of them. But you take these young kids, get on them, they wouldn't get out of town with them. The oiling system on them is a total loss. It's sucks it in with the breather, burns it right out the exhaust. And if you're running hard, bucking the wind, then what you got to do is take that pump on the tank and give it a little pump of oil, and then roll off on the throttle, roll back on and let out a little puff of blue smoke. Then you're oiling. You get about 600 to 800 miles to the gallon on their normal running. Well, we have probably 22 of between the two of us, and I've got 5 sidecars, 1919, 23, this one here, Triumph, then I'm building another one, and John has the most rarest one of all. That's an 8-valve Harley that was made in 1916, and there's only one left. We know where there's parts, just the cases in New Zealand, and we've researched, and John has, every place to try to find another one.
We had a big shootout. There was an article in Sickle magazine of one of Steve McQueen's 8-valve engines. They called it King of the Board Tracks. So I got a hold of them and said, how about a shootout? So there's an old 1.5-mile banked asphalt track out by Hanford there that they quit running in the 60s. So we went up there and run, and Lance rode my 2-cam board tracker. That's a conventional engine. I rode the 8-valve.
Like these.
And we blew them Indians in the weeds.
I won the Jack Pine in 1955 with a sidecar, and this Greenhorn run, you know, that's a big one. I won it twice when it was a national, and then I don't know how many other times. And the Flintlock, I retired the Flintlock pistol. You got to win it 3 years in a row. And that one year they said, he'll never take that pistol home because there'll never be a hack that'll get over the course. We made it. Well, I got the pistol home on the mantle.
Well, around the L.A. area, there was a club called the 13 Rebels for the war, and they was considered bad, which it wasn't, you know. So when everybody come back in the war, well, they wanted to have a little fun, you know, and Wino Willie is the one that originated. He went to a race meet and kind of misbehaved a little bit, and the next club meeting, they got after him about the way he acted at the race meet, drinking, and he took off his club shirt and nastied in it and resigned. So he started the club up, and they couldn't think up the name, and one of the fellows said, well, let's just call ourselves Boozefighters. That's what they're mad about, is having a drink. So that's when it started.
And you know, when you initiate it, you got to guarantee you're going to get drunk once a week at least.
We applied the AMA for sanctions, and the AMA would have nothing to do with it on account of the name. Well, then you get stubborn too, you know. You haven't done anything bad. Because it says Boozefighters, well, you can't do anything. So we went it alone, and then Hollister come that year, and everybody went to Hollister. And Life magazine come down, and they got these fellas to pose for these wild pictures. And they connected with the Boozefighters, and when Life magazine published it, it took off then. You couldn't stop it.
And
then they started the movie.
They made the picture of the wild one. It was taken after the Boozefighters. And of course, you know, Marlon Brando played the lead, and Lee Marvin was Wino Willie. And Wino was going to be a technical director, but he got drunk the night before, and he got he got put in jail that night.
No, going through town.
Yeah, going through to L.A. So
he never made it.
So he wasn't a technical director.
Advisor. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will say we're going to do it again.
68 years old, you don't know what's going to be around the corner.
Might be dead next week.
We figure we better do it while we can.
Well, what's it gonna take you to make you move? You just standing around and acting so cool. You ain't got no goddamn business here. Well, why don't you just dance or buy me a beer? Well, what's it gonna take to make you move? You just standing around and taking a brew. She's just drinking and you're playing pool. Come on, dance with me, baby, don't be no fool. Come on, dance, 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 dance with me, baby, now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with me, baby, now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with me, baby, now. Right now. Well, here comes Johnny and Exito. When they pick up the heel man, look at them go. And for all you squares just hanging around, we gonna rock and roll till the door comes down. Come on, dance, 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 dance with the baby now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with the baby now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with the baby now. Well, what's it gonna take to make you move? You just standing around and acting cool. You ain't got no goddamn business here. Why don't you just dance on Bobby Bill? Come on, dance, 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 dance with the baby now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with the baby now. Around. Dance, 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 dance with the baby now.
Baby Archie, he broke down. They called me to pick you up.
Get the fuck out of here, chill out. Fuck you, get out of here. They got me stuck. It's been nothing but freezes all day.
I came to California in 1959 after I got out of high school, and that tells how old I am. First time I'd ever seen a chopped Harley-Davidson was out here. And coming from Kansas City, they didn't have anything like that back there. Everybody's riding Triumphs and BSAs and so on. And I saw these people with earrings and long hair, and we'd see just packs of bikes coming down to PCH at night. And all you see was just chrome sparkling and the glitter and all the people and the noise, and it's like just a huge parade having a weekend run. So it just always fascinated me, and I started doing little sketches and paintings. I had the first Harley-Davidson that was chopped in Kansas City. I put my bike in a show, and I met these guys from Iowa that came down, and they had a chopped Harley, and it put mine to shame. But in the meantime, I had a painting that I did, the scene of all the bikes going up the hill with Hollywood and all the lights in the background. And I had that painting set by my bike. Well, Tiny from Sioux City saw the painting, and he took some pictures of it, and he sent the pictures to Big Daddy Roth. And Roth at that time was in the car business and building custom cars and hot rods. And he liked the painting and decided to make a poster of it. Ed Roth flew me out, and he introduced me to some people, and he took me to one of the clubs out here, one of the ranches up in San Bernardino, and scared me to death. I'd never seen so many wild people, but they were having fun. I remember seeing guys doing wheel stands around corners, riding jockey shifts, and pipes stuck, 6 feet in the air, and ape hangers where people had to stretch to reach them. They outlaw them now, but the old Flanders bars that were, 20 inches or more, 26 inches. And I heard about Easyriders. I saw the magazine on the stand, picked up a copy, and they had an advertisement for biker artists they wanted. So I sent in a couple of slides that I've done, and they contacted me right away, and contracted me for a painting. And it took off, and I've been with them ever since. I guess a lot of styles, from what I've heard, have taken off from my paintings. I'd maybe exaggerate a front end a little bit, or a rake on a frame, and
I did it accidentally, not meaning to, because I had no idea that long front ends were going to be a style for a while. The painting I did for my gang was some of the old people that I idolized when I was riding for a while in a club. Tiny's the one in the center. He's the one that started me with with Ed Roth. He's the one I dedicated the book to. I wouldn't be anywhere right now if it wasn't for him pushing me or getting me started. Then there was Gray Cat. He was always a wild one, a little off the wall and different, and he's living in the North Woods now, up in Minnesota. And then there's Dan. He was an old rodeo rider, and one of the best motorcycle riders that I've ever seen. He could do things on a motorcycle. It was unbelievable. And then there's Tom, and he was innovative in his style of shifting, and was always coming up with something different. And there's Skip, and I still stay in touch with all of them. And Skip, in fact, he's out here now, and he just did my motor and transmission for my bike. And so we all stay in touch with each other, and it's nice to have that. It's great to ride into Hollywood on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Everybody's splitting lanes, doing wheel stands, showing off, and everybody was trying to razzle-dazzle each other and be a little bit cooler than everybody else. And the girls would find you. You wouldn't have to go looking for them. I like women with big tits, little tits, medium-sized tits, long legs, short legs, spinners, we call them. As long as they got a good sense of humor, have pretty eyes. I like to have them look like they're having a good time, or make them erotic and sexy. I had a girlfriend that had long hair, and she dumped me. So I decided I'd do a Centerfold, put my bike in a bike show, and have her cleaning my bike, and I'd be talking to the beauty queen. When I finished the Centerfold, I showed it to her, and she really got pissed. The Ghost Rider painting was one of my favorites, and I used a friend's bike as a model, and the person on the bike is fictitious, and he's the sort of the epitome of what a motorcycle rider should be. With the long hair and a beard, the jacket flapping in the breeze, you know, he's just peeling out, having too much fun. The Pony Express riders had balls. They were young, they were orphans mostly. You know, their life expectancy wasn't anything, but they tried to have their own freedom, their personal freedom, and it was a tough job. And I can relate that to motorcycle riders. All the Elements was one of my favorites because this whole thing has been about having fun and enjoying life and freedom, and that kind of puts it all into one little condensation there that shows it, that we've got everything there, we just got to go for it and enjoy it. And don't let the bastards get you down.
I just wanted to get into choppers. I liked Harleys, you know, and I asked the people, hey, you know, I'd like to get a Harley, and they're saying, oh, no, they break down all the time. You don't want one of those. But it never took me away from getting one, and finally I ended up scraping a bunch of money together and buying just a rat basket case. Some terrible thing. I rode for quite a while, and then I got my license taken away, and then I ended up tearing it down. I really was just going to paint it, and then once you tear it down and do something, you just have to do something else, and you end up, you know, $8,000 or $10,000 later, you know. But I finally got it together. I used a lot of the old parts from the old bike, just refurbished them, cleaned them all up. I traded a guy, he had a set of cases on his motorcycle that he thought were hot. So he said, well, he had picked up another set of cases. So he said, well, if you change my motor, I'll give you these cases. My old 66 cases had blue tags. So I got rid of those, and now these have stock Harley numbers, and it's all registered as a 68, but it's all the 66 parts. I had the chopper before. It was like 10 over. It was really raked a lot, and I didn't want to go quite that far, so I didn't want a stock front end. So I just got in between there, and and I wanted to set it low on the ground too. So it just ended up 4 over on the front end, and just as putting it together, I wanted to keep all the lines straight and, you know, do a real clean job on it. The triple trees are custom made, and they're made out of 70-75 aluminum, and they're real strong. It's a solid steel stem, and it's slotted for the internal fork stop in the rear, so you can't see any of it. It's inside. I used to work at House of Horsepower. I got a lot of my training was there, really, building, learning how to build the large inch motors, 106 inches, and making the race bikes work and all the tolerances close. So I got a lot of education there, which I really helped me out. That's why I built my motor and trans and stuff. Did a little porting, nothing serious, and it's just 40 over, it's 74 inches, and I just cleaned up a lot of stuff. I cleaned up some of the rough edges. I didn't have the cases polished or anything. I just went the old glass bead, and I got the old style pump on it. I didn't switch to a new style. Pretty much it's basically stock. I put in a magneto so I wouldn't have any problems with wiring, you know, and I don't have any problems starting it either. Everybody says, oh, you know, you're gonna have problems starting it and all that. But I never had any problems starting it. If you tune them right, they're gonna run, you know. And I haven't had any problems with it so far, and the rest of the wiring is just for lights. I always wanted to paint something brown, and everybody's going, oh, what do you want to paint that thing shit brown for? You know, you don't want brown. Brown's terrible. I said, hey, I've always wanted to paint something brown, and I never did, and this time I said, it's going brown. I didn't want a shiny, flashy flame job either, so I ended up with the ghost flame. I'm a real good welder, too. I did a lot of welding and heliarc welding and stuff, so I made my sissy bar and made my exhaust pipes. Made a lot of custom stuff on that bike. Gusseted the frame. There's everything in there is pretty well modified in some way. I like the bike enough to where I want to ride it all the time, so I don't push it hard. You know, I like to ride my bikes easy. I don't race around. I kind of putt through canyons and just enjoy the ride. I don't know about riding that rigid Sturgis or Daytona, you know, especially with the old lady on the back and stuff, you know. She won't complain, but I know it ain't gonna feel too good. I'm not gonna be happy when I get off the end of the ride, because she's gonna be sore and worn out. She's been a big help, boy. She's out in the garage wrenching away. I tell her to hold this, and I'll do this, and you tighten it up, and then I'll, you know. She's about the best help I have for my bike, and I need it too.
You cops are looking shabbier every day.
Welcome to the first Easyriders Grand National Rodeo, featuring the real modern-day cowboys of the American highway, riding American-built machines.
Bikers has had a bad name, but these are some good people.
These are some of the best people I've ever known, is bikers. They're great.